Today's live, Blair will be going to sleep.
Blair's excited.
Hey, Blair, wipe your lips. You got some drool hanging out the sides of them.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Jay's special wild turning evening, afternoon, whatever.
That was a bit of a pregnant pause there, Blair. Oh, whoops. Oh, sorry about that. Hang on, John. I'm going to put myself on mute for a sec. I've got to go on the bandsaw first.
Hey, John, how the heck are you?
Hey, John, long time no see.
G'day, John.
Sorry, what was that, Sarge?
I said long time no see to John.
Oh, okay.
G'day,
Howdy,
Sid.
Sid.
G'day, Sid. Are you in the shop today, Sid, are you? I noticed your post earlier.
Hello, Sid. Or I should say, g'day.
G'day, mate.
How you going?
How you going, Gobber? Oh, yeah. Here's one I prepared earlier. Oops. Sorry about that.
He says he's tired. These damn pupils are hard to train.
Yeah, we're always breaking stuff.
Oh, well, that is it. What are you breaking?
That E on live.
Oh, yep.
Wow. Hey, school live.
Yeah, naughty you.
G'day, Amy. How you going?
Howdy, Amy. Howdy, Effie.
How you going, Effie?
G'day, Amy and Effie.
Every time I see Amy's name on there, I think, Amy, what you want to do? I think I should speak, or something like that.
Hey, Blair.
Yep.
What do you do for a living?
I fix stuff, like for apartment buildings and stuff like that. So I should probably stop singing, huh?
How you going,
Dr.
Bob?
Not me.
Don't give up your day job. Is that what you're saying, James?
Yep.
Actually, I did just give up my day job. Today was my last day in hell.
Nice.
And Tuesday I start a new one. Hey, Doc.
What's going on, Dr. Bob?
Oh, just watching you guys. I was on with some other stuff today doing it, and I had to reboot my tablet because it kept saying, I'm out of memory. I can't find a microphone. What button did you push? So I decided cold start.
Sometimes it's the best.
Yeah, it's pain trying to figure out what program hung and kill it. Yes.
How do you unplug it? Turned it off and back on again.
Yep. I had fun today watching, attending Cindy Drozda's program. Uh, it's a 2 week thing this week and this Saturday and next Saturday. It's a box that has a twist in it, and people were following along step by step on their lathes or taking notes on how to do it because you'll get a recording of it on Sunday, Monday maybe. And then next Saturday, we all meet together to show each other our boxes and talk with her about possible change or critiquing. It's something new she's trying out.
Sounds fun.
I haven't missed any of them. They've all been really interesting and quite educational. To me, it's a finer artwork than I have done because I've never been involved in doing that type of artwork.
Hey, Nick, welcome.
How you going, Nick?
Howdy, Nick.
Hi, Nick. That pole
Hey,
turned
Nick,
out
that was
nice.
a good life that you did today. That oak pole looked like it was a pain in the butt.
So, Jay, I am very concerned and interested, and I don't want to pry, but the doctor fixed you today?
Yeah, I'd just rather not talk about it online, Dr. Bob, that's all, to be honest. So
Oh, I
I'll,
thought there might have been a pill or something he'd give you for the
No.
allergy. Okay.
No.
Hey, John, welcome.
G'day, John.
So, Sarge, what have you been up to besides being a cut up in your shop?
I made this today in John Cousin and Shay's class.
Ah,
Broke the letter, the tail of the E, so I went ahead and just recut it. And now I'm working on the base, whatever I did with it.
uh-huh.
And then I got my letters put on my sign.
Hey, Paul.
How you going, Paul?
Hi, Paul.
Hi there.
Howdy, Paul.
I was just trying to figure out how my speakers weren't working. I've just sorted it. I thought it was quiet. How's it going?
You thought we were doing a lip reading class, huh?
I could see people's lips moving, but hear nothing. But I thought, yeah, something wrong here. But yeah, all sorted. Just my computer settings were wrong. I
Yeah,
don't know why,
was
but
just-
it decided my microphone was my speaker, but it doesn't quite work like that, does it?
No.
Yeah, I was just watching the new program or a new system or whatever service, probably. BBC, the history. Well, we'd call it the History Channel, but all the great history programs that have been done on the BBC globally.
Yeah.
And, I really get a kick out of watching them, and now I can get them in one of my packages for 99 cents. So I thought I'd grab it quick because I really enjoy the whole timeline program and the archaeology that's gone on to discover what's happened on your island.
Yeah, they're doing some interesting programs here.
Oh yeah, you set the bar that we've had to meet. That is for sure. And today they were covering the history of the Australian War, of which
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one.
Mm-hmm. Well, not something I know much about, I'm afraid.
And the history of James Bond before it, that there wasn't a real Bond, wasn't his name, but there was someone, and all the stuff that he did in his and the records that have been found, you know, of all the things. It's amazing. Invent something from scratch, and that's the core of not only your MI5 and 6, but our CIA and NSA,
Yeah.
and probably other countries have had to keep up with it.
Mm.
So,
I don't know,
Robbo, are you day 2 of lockdown?
Pardon?
I think Robbo's in lockdown for 5 days.
Yes. At the moment.
We're in lockdown for about 2 months.
Sorry?
Paul says he was in lockdown for 2 months.
Something like that. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I know.
the forecasting will come out mid-March.
No, ours was just a 5-day lockdown. It finishes on Wednesday again.
Uh-huh.
But it's just for contract tracing purposes, so they stop people from moving.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'd do with myself if I didn't go to work for 5 days. I might
I find it
actually
relatively easy, actually.
You might
Try for
take
a
the
month.
time and learn to turn.
guess I'm the duck tonight. Right.
Yep. But just think, if you had that many days free just to turn anything you want to turn.
I can get a bit soul destroying sometimes. It's not so much like I spend my time at home anyway most of the time, but it's the fact that knowing that you can't go out and see people, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, well, I've been in that circumstance, unfortunately, for about 5 years because my vision got too bad for me to drive. And then because of bad vision, I could drive, but the insurance here in Michigan was outlandish, over $200 a month for a 10-year-old car. You know, my pension, I couldn't afford that.
Hmm.
Oh, you didn't give John a wrench, did you, Jay? Jeez.
What? Huh?
He might go. The power might go to his head. Yes, John. Draft horses are fairly big. I used to have one that I delivered milk for about 6 months or so to earn some extra money, and we had to harness the horses and everything. And then you never want one to step on your foot, I tell you.
Yeah.
'tis been quite a few years, but I used to own a horse. That gets expensive. In the 80s,
Is
I had a horse. And then when I got hired to move on and take over and do a research lab in Washington for the government, uh, I couldn't take the horse because there was no place that I could ever afford to board it in Northern Virginia because that's expensive. Everyone that works in the district that makes any money lives there.
Hey, Chris, welcome.
Had to give up my horse.
Howdy, Chris.
Amy, I've got one that's a glue up right now, but you have to go to my Instagram and take a look at it. It's going to be a big one. And I think for my Monday live, I think I'll turn it for that. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Holy cow, John. 12? So, Amy, is the cow for meat or for milk? Keep doing that airbrush stuff, Nick. You're doing a great job. It looks really cool.
So, Paul, how's your day been?
Pretty good. Didn't do a lot. Spent yesterday moving our youngest son from here to a new place. So it was loading van, driving, unloading, driving back. So I got back in the early hours of the morning. So I spent half of today asleep catching up. I got your Facebook message, Bob. I was driving up the motorway at the time, saying the session was on yesterday. So yeah, I missed that one because I was in sort of transit halfway on the way back home at that point.
You got him off to uni?
Yeah, I mean he's finished all that. He's working, but he actually works at a college. He's working from home at the moment because they're also in lockdown.
I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to log off on this one.
Yeah, I've noticed that this whole pandemic has changed the world considerably on how we communicate. But not the teenagers, because they've been doing it for 3 to 4 years already.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose a lot of this technology has been around for a long time. I mean, video technology and the sort of communication side of that has been around. Most of it's been around for 25 years, but the software's improved since then.
Oh, tremendously.
Hmm.
I remember before ISDN went out, if you're
Yeah.
familiar with that technology,
Yeah.
I used to teach it and
Hmm.
was on a couple of subcommittees to work with it,
All right.
and put in the first privately owned mainframe central office switch, which everyone told me it couldn't be done. And
Yeah.
the company that was trying to keep me from going into private consulting had to have they did a big expo on what ISDN was all about, invited, it was for 3 months, they invited school teachers to come in so they could see the potential for teaching,
Yeah.
BRI teaching. We had merchants associations, major corporations come in to see about POS using the data on the D channels. And we had tons of stuff that was going on. The only problem was the day before they were trying to kick their AT&T switch over, it wouldn't connect.
Hmm.
They tried and tried, and I'd had mine running a Northern Telecom main office switch, handling a lot of stuff out in the Phoenix area, all private. It was 2 major corporations and a big housing project they put in to house their people.
Yeah.
Because typically they rotated people, and it was like a 2-year basis, and you go back out, go back in again. And the only problem was they couldn't get theirs to work, and they were demonstrating to the world how it worked. Yeah. Finally come whining, and we were talking as I was sitting there showing them how ours worked so well. And in the back, everyone's talking about, we need to get our people here to fix it. And they've been there for 4 months and couldn't. So I simply got together with a person at the central office, and I said, well, can you give me 2 direct PRI circuits, please, to the convention center? And they were, well, that wouldn't take long. We can do it? In about 25 minutes, they had it connected. And instead of the AT&T switch that they had in the middle of the lobby, you had to walk by, see, double cabinet switch.
Yeah.
We tapped in and we ran the whole program for them for the 3 months that they were running it, simply because they couldn't get their switch to work, but they kept telling everybody that's what's doing it.
Mm.
Oh, a little bit of fraud now and then never hurts. They weren't compatible with the standard that was being used yet in the area.
Right.
And it was at the very beginning.
Yeah, back in the days when 128K sounded like a lot of bandwidth, didn't it?
Oh, yes. But we were doing things that people today still don't do. Other than on their phone, you could actually make an appointment with your hairdresser or the barber from a BRI from your home phone.
Yep.
And instead of having it, they had the little terminals that would plug in, and they were chat boxes, and that's all they were. That's what we call them now. But it was a little text box with a keyboard, and you could say, you put the number you want in, phone number, and then you were texting it. So you made your appointments, and you could interact with IBM computers. We had a software package that was out there that was written for us that communicated with the number of people that we had within our facility that we had put the system into.
Hmm.
So all the stuff they kept saying would work in the future, we let them come and show it off, but we were nice enough not to telling them that our switch was running their demo. But they had buses come out and tour, and that was a ball. I was able to hang 3 switches when I was doing that type of work as a consultant. And then the telcos kind of, and the union with the telcos kind of turned it off, and they wouldn't accept us anymore. Only telco employees that had the training and belonged to their union. But it was a start, and that's where I caught the dream again.
Yep.
And the funny part is, you still have the whole basis, at least here, is ISDN for communication.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to have sort of become obsolete almost with ADSL and the higher bandwidth connections, doesn't it?
Yep. And SIP protocol is one of the best that I help work on it when I work for the government. And that runs the world. Simple SIP protocol.
Yeah.
I love it. I used to teach it for quite a while before I finally had to give it up.
G'day, Chris. Good night, Nick. I finally caught up on the chat. The chat was bloody 5 minutes behind on the other computer for some reason. Need more speed, Jay.
There she goes.
You get smoke there. Must be doing something.
Yeah, it's one of the easiest and cheapest things to make is the capability to do that. I use guitar strings, and if I can get them, I'll use a bass.
Yeah.
Because then you get bigger strings for the high end of the bass. But I've got, I think, 5 or 6 now from different thicknesses over the years. I got a music store I go to, and they usually keep them in a box. They're all old, used stuff they've taken off instruments.
Yeah. Bit of 4 mic is good for that as well.
Yeah. Or a stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ice cream.
Just wedges of different types of wood. Yeah.
Yeah. But a wire actually gives a more even coat around it, I've found. It burns a lot more even.
But if you use some of the coloured rosewood, you actually get a burr in the colour of the wood as well.
Yeah.
It put some of the oil and other bits from the wood in there, so it colours it.
Yeah, but I found it. I stopped using Formica samples because I saw a person that I was teaching busy using them because that's what they wanted. He wanted to use, and then he got distracted for just a second, which is always a disaster waiting to happen. And he twisted it, and when he did, because he heard a loud noise behind him, and he went to turn, and when he turned to see what it was. Natural reaction. He twisted it. It caught in the wood that was being spun. It shattered it, and it threw pieces of it up against the wall. And a couple other people, they didn't get hit, but it sent it flying. And
Yeah.
that was, to me, just too dangerous. Because you could twist it. With a wire, it would jump out of the hole.
Yeah.
Well, actually, last time I called, he actually went to the refrigerator to look.
Nah, don't like apple cinnamon hot cross buns. I just like normal hot cross buns.
Sounds nice to me.
Sounds lovely to
Sorry?
me too. Actually, I'm more partial to peach cobbler, but still, I'll take one or the other.
I thought you were like me, Blair, and just like food generally.
Yeah, for the most part.
Particularly if it's sweet.
I definitely have a sweet tooth. Mostly, especially if it's been baked or, pastries, things like that. Oh my heavens!
Oh, I used to be, but since I found out I was a diabetic, probably about 40 years ago, 50 years ago, that sure cut things down.
See, Amy's on my side. She likes peach cobbler too.
But, it doesn't stop me completely. It's like figuring out how much I can eat, which is a gamble, but figuring how much of a piece of cake type of thing, or pava, or a piece of pie, or what kind of pie, then the bottom answer for me is typically what's my blood sugar like at not just the end of the day, but the end of the week. Because it bounces all around. Everyone's does.
I don't know, Amy. I've never heard of that kind.
Yeah, it sure does, Amy. I keep track of, and have now for almost 40 years. But the best part is having to watch a diet is that I've actually lost over 130 pounds over the years. And that has helped diabetes out very, very much.
I definitely have noticed a difference since I'm on my diet. I mean, I definitely try to stay away from all sugars and stuff like that. And as soon as I get it, it does some weird stuff to my body. Makes me want to go to sleep. Sometimes it'll give me a headache.
Have you been tested for diabetes or blood sugar?
I haven't, but it actually runs in my family, so I probably should.
Those are dead giveaways of over sugar.
It's either that or hypoglycemia, one of the two.
They're both the same thing. It's a variance in sugar. Usually when you start getting sleepy. It's not lack of sugar.
Yeah. So, Paul, are you a sweet or a savory guy?
Probably savoury, I would say. I like the bittersweet things occasionally, but yeah, I'm probably more into the savoury stuff and spicy things as well.
I like spicy. I used to, a lot more like 15 years ago, but the older I get, the more I'm not really liking the spicy.
Well, you might have to clarify it. Spicy like hot or spicy like different tastes that we aren't used to within
Both
the
really,
typical
I suppose. Yeah, I
diet.
like hot. I like hot if it's something like a curry or chili or something like that. I like that quite hot. But yeah, just generally spicy, tasty sort of things. Yeah. Yes, I do. I do like sweet things as well. So yeah, probably say I'll eat anything almost. Very easy to feed.
How about you, Robo?
I can't handle anything hot. I love sweet stuff, but I'd rather sit down to a good steak, mashed potatoes and peas anytime.
Yeah.
I would only add one thing to that. There's some homemade buttermilk biscuits and a fresh peach pie or apple pie.
I don't mind apple pies. I don't like any other. I'm a bit peculiar on fruit. Some of it I love raw, some of it I love dried, and some of it I like stewed. But like I love dried apricots, but I can't eat them raw, and I can't have them in a pie, or I love apricot jam as well,
Yeah.
but I cannot eat the fruit. Don't know why, but I love dried apricots.
Yeah, I do. I like the unsulfured ones. Because here you get two types. You get the ones that are preserved, and they're sort of quite an orange colour, but you get the unsulfured ones, which are much browner, but they taste sweeter.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
he's still there.
no, he's still there. He's hiding in the background. There he is. Look. Chris Bailey Woodwork, you on Facebook? That's if you're still in the background there somewhere.
So where do the notifications of these live streams get posted? Because I looked on that Live AU Facebook page earlier, and there was nothing on there.
So I'll have to answer that
Right.
when he gets a chance.
I'll have to have a look because, to be honest, I don't know why it's not showing up.
All right.
I get them from him and I send them to you.
Yeah, that works.
The last couple of days, I've only been able to stream to YouTube. That might be why he hasn't been showing up for the last couple of days.
Right.
Oh, it's developed a slight crack.
Oh dear.
Maybe from the heat.
Yeah. Anywho.
Put some resin in, it'll be just fine.
Yeah, it'll be,
It's a feature mark.
So since we're talking about food, also one of my favorite things is homemade sourdough bread.
Oh, I love that. What about homemade though?
Yeah.
I think that depends on the starter.
We have to go to that place where we've seen it that time on TV.
I love it, but I kept a starter with me for probably 40 years. And finally, I got it where I'm living now, and no one liked it, so I just let it die off.
Hey? So good you're choking on it. There's water right there.
So
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, look at that.
there's a place in San Francisco called Bodine's, and they have one of the best sourdough breads I've ever had. And you can get a starter from them.
Yeah, Blair, are you
Yeah.
bringing some over here or what?
Am I what?
That bread. It sounds bloody good. You better bring some over here.
Oh, you know what? You can actually get online and order it, and they will ship it.
Then you
Nah.
can grow it yourself.
You what?
Yes, sourdough has to.
Grow it myself.
Yeah.
All I want is the bread.
The
Oh,
yeast.
Oh, so I don't want to make it. I just want to eat it.
You're not familiar with sourdough bread then, or sourdough pancakes.
Not maybe not pancakes, but I've had sourdough bread before, and it's very nice. Got a lot of Asian bakeries over here, and they make it very nice.
Amy, definitely look into it. It's called Bodine's.
Now, I got addicted to it when I was in Alaska. The man that had the house next to me, if you call it a house, but on campus, he and his wife had been growing their starter for years and years, and he was a San Francisco when he was a kid, and the starter started with his mother, and a few years before I got there, they had brought some starter up for him, and then I got it from him, and I've been keeping it up until about 4 or 5 years ago, and wasn't right. The kids didn't like it, so I let it die off.
That's a shame. Jay, that's a nice finish. Ah,
Yeah, from Liquid Bees. They're cheaper by the gallon.
It's the ones I collect off the windscreens.
and off happy bikers.
Yeah, that's right.
And between their teeth.
Yeah.
Well, the starter is not, I don't have it, but my brother has some because I've given it to him and he's kept it going. So I can always get a feedback from. But of course, the starter, as you migrate from different areas and use different flours, it kind of changes. Probably the best starter I ever had, and that's when years and years ago when I was in Washington State, and they were getting ready for their big World's Fair there, and I bought some starter there that supposedly, but it wasn't during the fair. This was one of the markets in town that was near where I had a hotel room. And I was told it came from, at that time, Chief Justice Black of the Supreme Court, because he had a summer house in the mountains just outside of Seattle. And that had been something that had come down through his family. And this store had, the bakery was using his starter. So I bought some. And I think could it all be BS? Well, it could be, but I don't think you'd want to sell something that came from a Supreme Court justice of the United States, if it wasn't true. But they said it was his favorite bakery when he was in town and was living there for a while. But it's strictly a mountain summer house.
Now what are you putting on it?
I was about to say it's illegal for everyone to go quiet at once.
And Amy wants to know, Paul, what's on the cards for your turning?
I've got an order of some yarn to do. That's my next job, I think. We've got 5 of those to make. Hopefully you know what a yarn bowl is.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's one that talks, isn't it?
If only. No, it's just for those that do knitting. You put your ball of wool in there, and it's got a slot in the side for the wool to come out. Also, it stops your ball of wool from rolling all over the floor.
Yeah, and the cat playing with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, got a few of those to do.
And you know, Paul, I'm glad you brought that up. I've got a friend in Hawaii that I keep threatening to make one for, and I always forget. So
yeah,
I need to do that.
It's something I don't do many of. It's I just do them when asked, and I don't get asked that often, I suppose, for those. I do lots of ordinary bowls, but yeah, it's not often I do the yarn bowls.
Not to give up any old trade secrets, usually hide secrets, but I've made a few of them. But what I've done is, if I am making a bowl or even an enclosed item, I was making made a lot of urns, and if you screw up the top and it gets too thin and you blow the top of an urn, people just get mad and they throw it on the wood pile. I make yarn bowls out of them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't, all that labor you had in hollowing and whatever, I just flip it around and cut it off and make a bowl out of it.
Yeah.
Or I've had bowls that I've been turning end up with a crack overnight that I overlooked. Okay, let's exaggerate the crack, and if I can, and make a yarn bowl out of it.
Yeah, it's a good way of rescuing a bowl that's got a crack in it, isn't it? You can always just use the crack to your advantage and make that into a yarn bowl.
Yep.
Oh, but you can't tell anybody that. That's a trade
Oh, no.
secret.
Just say that's part of the design.
Right.
So what's the best way to make the little slot going down the bowl? Just like a little coping saw, or
Yeah, I've got a little electric jigsaw, like a modelling sized one. That's quite good for doing it. A full size jigsaw, I think, is just a bit too big and cumbersome, but that's got quite a thin blade, and you get some tight curves with it, so that works quite well. So I'll just pencil where I think I'm going to cut, and then cut it out, and then just either some rasps or coarse abrasive just to sort of round it off and smooth it out, and then sand it.
Squirrel saw.
If you've got one.
Actually, it'd be hard to do on a scroll saw.
Oh, I know it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it would.
I'm just kidding.
I know. Well, actually, no, maybe it wouldn't. If you set it down on its side and get the outer edge of the top edge of the bowl over the top of the swing arm, you could probably do it actually with a scroll saw.
Yeah, you'd actually end up with a bevel cut instead of it being flat, but it would just bevel. Well,
Yeah, the hardest part's getting the groove in. It's easy enough to sand it out once you've got it in there.
yeah, or you could leave it in there if it don't cut the yarn.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or you could.
My neighbour's bought me an interesting lump of wood as well. A couple of days ago, he knocked on the door. So I got these. You have these two little branches. I've got these little branches of apple with just bits of burr on it. Is any good? They're a bit too small really for me to do anything with. But he said, I've also got some of the trunk as well. Is that any good? So he said it was in his back of his pickup. So we went and had a look, and that was a good size. It's sort of 8-10 inches diameter, and it's just covered with bits of burr. So I said, yeah, I'll have a go at that bit.
Yeah, good day, Justin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just seen them too.
I thought I'd,
hey,
Now
Josh,
there's an interesting point, Paul. Do you call them utes or pickups?
pick up.
Oh, we call them utes.
Yeah.
How you going, Justin?
Yeah, it was cold here today. And
Yeah.
a lot of snow.
Yeah, it's been cold here over the last few days. It's I think yesterday when we were doing this moving, it was about -2. But because I was sort of lifting and moving stuff, I was still out there in a t-shirt. So as long as you're actually working, it was fine. But as soon as you stopped, you realised it was pretty cold. So
Yeah.
incentive to keep moving.
We were at my shop this morning. It was -16
Yeah,
in your temperature.
yeah. That's pretty cold.
Cade and I share temperatures in the morning, but he's just, to me, just that way, across the river from us, but up a bit near Toronto.
Yeah.
And we
I think parts
often
of the
get up and chat.
Parts of the UK, it's got down to about -10 over the last week or so. But yeah, where I am, I think we've got down to about -5, -6-ish centigrade.
Yeah, by noon, we were a -2.
Yeah.
So we'd warmed up to a -2
Uh-huh.
and blowing, and that can be worse. with wind chill, it always makes everything worse. And there are still disbelievers that such a thing exists as wind chill.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
There's people that believe the Earth is flat too.
Well, it is if you just
You mean
look at
it's
it.
not?
No, it's not. Sorry, Sarge, to disappoint you.
Yeah,
Wind chill actually kills more people than the cold in a lot of cases.
Yep.
It certainly
Learned that in Alaska.
magnifies the effect, doesn't it?
And wind chill doesn't necessarily hit quickly. I noticed that with part of when I lived in Alaska for years is that you could be perfectly comfortable and not notice anything. And all of a sudden, you know, you start slurring words, but you don't notice it.
Yeah.
And then hopefully someone around you starts checking on you, and if they hear that and they know how you normally talk or walk, they get you inside out of the wind. Or, as I've learned the hard way, when you're in Alaska, the big parkas you have a big fur ruff, big collar for a hood, and it comes out, but the fur actually folds back. And I always thought it was decorative. No, when it drops below like 30 or so, you unfold it and it snaps, and that leaves a tunnel of air at your face as you're looking out through this fur, and the fur, just being fur, keeps that area in front of your face warmer just from your breath. And it tempers the air that you're pulling in and out of your breath. And that helps a lot, because a lot of people end up, well, as me, I did this one day and my mustache broke off, and I didn't realize it until people kept laughing and finally pointed to the fact I'd broken it off. You learn a lot. It's called being a chichaco, Athabascan word meaning outsider that thinks he knows everything. You're only
In Australia, in Australia, we call them know-alls.
Nice. Way to go.
Really nice wood. You going to make a set of 6?
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Outstanding.
There you go.
I didn't want it to be a tight fit, just in case you got to get it out in a hurry.
I
Anyway.
just melt a little wax in the bottom of it, stick that down in there while it's still hot, and then you got it stuck in there. But it's not permanent.
Yep. Anyway, there you go. All right, there you go.
Yeah. Up
There you go,
close and personal.
Show just ended. No.
That's all, folks.
That's it. There you go.
So, Robbo, I ended up getting me one of those drive spurs.
Oh, the stabs.
Yeah. I used it the other night when I was in the shop, and you guys were chatting away. That thing, it's a miracle. It bit into the wood so well and didn't slip one iota.
Yeah.
I love mine.
I just want to throw my other ones away.
I got a headstock one, and I've also got one from the tailstock that spins.
Yep. I've never bothered with a tailstock one because I like my little wood fast ones better. I reckon the step ones are good for off-centre turning, but I still like the normal revolving cup centres, I'm afraid.
No, I do, but that's what I got it for, is off center.
Yeah, don't really need it if you've got a good centre anyway.
Well, I got a book from a demonstrator years ago at AAW in Pitt, and I was fascinated. I forget his name, and the book's in my shop. But that's what he used, and at that time, he was selling them because they were made. You know, he had a big group for both drive, 2 sizes of drive, and then 1 size for the tailstock. And I have used them so often.
That's all I actually use on the drives for, except for certain jobs. Then, but I can honestly say I don't use a 4-prong with spur drive for anything. They're locked in a drawer. I've got about 10 of them. They're all brand new, so that's where they stay.
Yeah, I'll never use mine again. They're garbage.
Hey, Jay.
Okay.
Ah, you got the chevrons on. Nice.
What?
Put him on full screen.
Doctor.
Sarge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you see it? Or am I
Yeah.
too dark.
You're too bit close, but it's okay. Yeah, that looks better.
There
That's
go.
better.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
I like that. Well done.
Thank you. Now, I don't know. I might just leave it as is. Call her
Well,
good.
you need to waterproof it and put the hooks on it so you can hang it outside your door.
Yeah.
It's like hanging up a shingle, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Probably put some Hellmans on it later. Call her good. And then some hooks. Or some D-rings or something.
If you're going to put it on a post, why don't you put the helmet on a real used helmet on the top of the post as a cap to the post on an angle with the strap dangling down?
I could do that. And I was saying Hellman's
It's
spray.
the wood finish.
Valspar. Yeah.
Or you could turn the top of the post like that and put a helmet on top of that.
Yeah.
I can't see that. No, I still can't see it. But then my eyes aren't flash at the moment either.
Yeah, well, I'm in a dungeon today.
Amy, to answer your question, I'm eating trail mix. Since I'm on this diet, I can only eat certain things, and nuts are on my list. So I constantly munch on trail mix.
Basically, spar urethane is what it is. Indoor, outdoor.
Spar works really well. It just takes a while to dry.
Oh yeah, especially now it's so bloody cold in here.
Yeah,
Everything's taking forever to dry.
that'll do it.
But I got a piece of concrete sitting on my chevron. Hopefully that'll hold it down.
Guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get me some caffeine.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna head inside. I'm tired of being cold.
All right. See you in a minute, Sarge.
Yep.
So what's your favorite snack, Paul?
I quite like fruit. All sorts of fruit. Apples, pears, oranges.
stuff that's good for you.
Yeah. I like some not so good things for me too. Yeah, I've always quite liked fruit, so yeah, regular thing for me, I suppose.
Yeah, I love it. And I usually have it as a snack at night. That way, when I get up in the morning and I do my morning routine and check my blood sugar, I can see if I had too much or not. And then at night, the following night, I won't have any things like fruit, and check it again. And if it's back to what normal is, I'm content.
Yeah.
Because it's what you count as a diabetic really is the average over a month.
Right.
So few spikes mathematically gives you just a little higher average. So I have to, you learn to judge them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Amy. I like Old Gold chocolate. Let's see, chocolate royals, Jaffa cakes, Madeira cake, bananas. I love bananas. Leftover spaghetti bolognese is another favourite of mine too.
All deadly to a diabetic.
Oh, mine stays fairly stable, so Old Gold chocolate's not bad because it's made with cocoa, so that doesn't really upset the things much.
Right.
At least my dietitian says she's happy with what I do, so I just keep doing it. Are you pig, Amy? Do you have to hide them from the kids? Oh, I forgot Turkish delights. I like Turkish delights too. Fries Turkish delights.
Is that all?
I know there's another list to go, but
I thought
everybody get bored.
I thought you were being modest.
Here he is.
And back with a smile. Oh, he
Caffeine does that.
stopped to drink on the way.
Okay, Jay, what's next?
Nothing, to be honest. I've had a pretty bad headache the last couple of days, and nothing seems to be curing it. It's not a migraine because it's not affected by the light or anything, but it's starting to get a little bit worse at the moment. So I'm not turning anything.
Don't blame you. How hot is it in the shed?
It's not really that bad. It's only 26.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a cold spell. It was only 11 when I came out to the workshop this morning, and it hasn't climbed much. It's only about 18 or 19 now, but we're in for 4 days of heat again.
Get the last of summer before it's gone.
Yeah, generally the end of February, March is our hottest part anyway. That's when all the bushfires start.
Yep.
You've had some bad fires this year. It's made our news often.
No, last year we had bad fires.
Right.
Really bad
Well,
fires. There's a
last
bad
year.
one in. There's a bad one in Western Australia, I think they've got it under control now. But yeah, our fires here were diabolical last year.
See, the one bad thing about living in Utah is where we're at in the valley, we get any fire that is from Washington, Oregon, California, mostly California, all of that smoke just comes and filters right up into Utah, and then it just sits in our valley. And it's terrible.
Good night, good afternoon at least, Amy. Yeah, you've got to look after the males in the household, that's for sure.
See you later, Amy. Thanks
See,
for coming in.
Amy.
Cheers, Amy.
So we get it in the wintertime from all our cars, and summertime we get it from fires. So I'm kind of living in the wrong state.
Well, at least you can't drown in your lake.
No, yeah, you can't drown. Really.
Oh no, you can drown in 2 inches of water.
Not that lake.
So in Utah, there's a thing called the Great Salt Lake, and you can actually go out and just lay there, and you don't have to worry about sinking. You will float. It has so much salt in it that it just keeps you buoyant.
No, if you put your face under it, it'll still drown you.
Oh, I know.
Right.
That's what.
Or you suffocate.
Yeah, I know what Bob's on about. Yeah.
That and the little brine shrimp will nibble your bum.
My cousin drowned in 3 inches of water. Of course, he was held down by a tractor, so doing what he shouldn't have been doing. He'd been told 1,000,000 times not to drive around the berm of the dam. And anyway, this day it had been raining and the tractor slipped down the side of the bank, rolled over. He couldn't get out of it and it held his head underwater. Right at the edge, 3 inches of water. We measured it, or the coroner did.
That's a shame. All right, Sid, see ya.
Yeah, I've seen some weird accidents in my life that you just look at.
All right, see you later, Sid.
Cheers, Sid.
I've always heard of Turkish delights. I've never had any though.
They're yum.
Yeah.
Oh, the fries one in particular, fries Cadbury are fantastic. They're very sort of Moorish.
Mm-hmm. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go to my cookie hangout and get me some Jaffas and wagon wheels.
Wagon wheels, yeah.
What was the other one?
Well, there's Jaffa cakes, but I don't know whether they'd have them.
There was one that was hazelnut.
Yeah, they're Kit Kats and things like that.
No, there was one that you were eating the other day that you were teasing Jay about.
Oh, yeah, well, wait on, I'll see if I can find a packet.
What are they called?
Tortinas.
Tortinas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look for those tomorrow.
Yeah, well, just be warned that once you open one, you can't stop until you've finished all 6. It'll blow your diet to hell.
Hey, it's the weekend. I can do that. I'm good all week long, and then the weekend I just shoot it.
What's your favorite, Paul?
What, in terms of sweets? Ooh, I'd quite like sort of the odd chocolate bar, but I also like dark chocolate more than milk chocolate. So
I'm the same.
Paul, you and I, we're good friends.
Good.
Dark chocolate is where it's at.
Amen.
And as Amy said, old gold, dark chocolate, rum and raisin. Oh,
Ooh,
That's good to me.
yeah.
That's
Good
right.
night, Blair. Not Blair. Sarge, at least. Sorry.
Good night, Sarge. See ya. Yeah, rum raisin. Ooh, that sounds good.
Definitely.
That's Australian chocolate, not your American Hershey's crap.
Oh, amen. I don't like Hershey's.
But I find with milk chocolate that after about 3 little blocks, my mouth starts burning a bit. So I like dark chocolate or milk chocolate.
Yeah,
But,
Hershey's is too waxy and yeah.
I think I've told you, my brother was in New York for quite a few years. My mum used to send him a care package every month, and it consisted of at least 1 jar of Vegemite, some Kraft cheddar cheese, and at least a chocolate bar of some, like Cadbury's chocolate, because he tried the chocolate there in New York and he spat it out.
Yeah. I like Tim Tams. Tim Tams are good.
Yeah, another Australian invention.
Do you use them as a straw, Blair?
Tim Tams? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a Tim Tam Slammer. What you do is, right, you bite off opposite corners, just the very tip of the corner, right? And then you dunk it in your drink, just one of the corners, and then you suck up through it, and you suck up your hot drink up through the chocolate. Beautiful.
Huh.
Yeah, just watch out though, because sometimes the Tim Tam will fall apart in your drink if you're not quick enough. So, so you just go suck, you get it in your mouth, and you pull it out and eat from the bottom, because that's where it's the soggiest, obviously. Yeah.
Have to try that.
Take it from a fat man. They're too Moorish, you know. It's like, I'm sure I had a packet here a minute ago, but when you
was
do
one
it
or
like
two
that,
left, I thought.
yeah, when you do it in your drink like that, anyway. It's like,
Well, I've learned to like the diabetic chocolates. Then they're not chocolate, but if that's
What's
all
that?
you
Don't
can
eat
eat,
chocolate.
yeah, no sugar in it.
Ugh.
There's a sweetener, but it's not sugar.
Yeah. Just drizzle some honey on it, you'll be right.
Well, the problem is honey still boosts up your blood sugar, though.
Yep,
Does it?
it's a sugar.
It's like, drinking orange juice or something like that. It just shoots your blood sugar through the roof.
Yeah.
It may be natural, but it's still sugar.
And if it spikes up, it drops just as fast.
Yeah.
You feel like, yeah, won't say.
Like, do you feel like shit, Dr. Bob?
Yeah,
There you go. The
When it
host said
drops,
it. Is that,
yes, your whole mood changes.
yeah. Yep. No, I don't have
Like a
diabetes,
yo-yo.
but I'm pretty close. Every time I have a bit of a whitey, Amber says I kind of change, go into a different mood and have a little bit of honey and off I go. But I go get tested and I'm not diabetic. It's like, all right, you're the doctor.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but remember, you just had 2 doctors not figure out what was going on. So
Oh yeah. No, don't worry. I gave him a little bit of a rundown on my decrepit body,
decrepit.
Uh,
I'm the
Alrighty
only
then.
one in my family that's had the diabetes to speak of. It's fairly new, but that's something very common with Agent Orange poisoning. With like 80% of the people that were involved with Agent Orange, that got it on them on a regular basis because it wouldn't hurt you, we were told, that are diabetic type 2.
yep, just guinea pigs.
It took 20 years before they finally had enough data to tie it to that because it came on slowly as we got older. And the argument is that our exercise rates dropped. That's what Dow Chemical said, so they couldn't be blamed for it because they're the ones that made it.
Be right back, guys.
Congress made some order that they weren't liable. We're just stuck.
All right, I'm going to have to go shortly.
Hey, you just took the words out of my mouth. How rude.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll put them back.
Yeah, anyway, appreciate everyone for coming in. I'm going to knock it on the head.
All right, see you later, Jade. See you tomorrow.
All right, thanks for coming in.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Yep. Catch you later,
All right.
Paul.
Appreciate everyone coming in.
See you, Paul.